The bell is tolled 10 times. Welcome to the AEW predictions, AEW double or nothing predictions edition of In Ring Reality. I, of course, am your host, Josh Rosowskis. And as you just saw in our brand new podcast intro, if you're watching the video version, if you're listening on the podcast only audio version, I, of course, appreciate you as well. But as you just saw, Chad Gaspard, former one half of Prime Time in WWE, has passed away after drowning while saving his son after he and his son got swept away by a riptide this past weekend. So my deepest thoughts and deepest prayers and condolences go out to the family of Chad. It is such a sad way for him to go. But I mean, talk about being a true hero when you have the ability to put your son first and make sure your son is going to be alive before yourself. It doesn't get any better than that. So rest in peace, Chad. We will miss you. As I mentioned, this is our shortened predictions episode for AEW Double or Nothing, which takes place from Jacksonville this Sunday, May the 23rd, 2020. Of course, it was supposed to take place in Vegas, but everything changed when the virus became a reality that the world is having to deal with. So, what do I think about this show? Well, let's just run down the card and I'll let you know. I'm using my predictions form for Wrestle Talk Wrestle League for ease of use. So I'll be going over the matches as that predictions form outlines them in the card. Cody versus Lance Archer for the AEW TNT Championship, with, of course, Mike Tyson presenting the very first TNT champion, AEW's new mid-card championship belt to the winner. I've gone with Cody here because I think that Cody just needs to get that big win. He cannot challenge for the AEW World title because of the speculation during the feud with MJF that MJF cost him during the feud with Cody Rhodes. So he cannot, sorry about that, I'm all over the place today. I meant to say that MJF cost him the chance to challenge for the world title in his feud with Chris Jericho when Chris Jericho was AEW champion. So, because of that, he cannot be AEW world champion until they find a storyline reason for him to be able to do so. I think he is the antithesis of the workhorse champion. I see it being something that is very near and dear to his heart because of who his father was in the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. So I've gone with Cody here, but Lance Archer really has been pushed like the Murder Hawk monster that he is. He's doing great work with Jake Roberts by his side, so I would not be surprised if this goes the other way at all. MJF, speaking of the devil, versus Jungle Boy. I've gone with MJF here. He's just the stronger character and person that they're behind right now in AEW, and I expect him to be right around that championship picture, particularly if Cody wins the TNT championship. I think MJF may be one of the first challengers if he doesn't go after the world title very soon as well. Speaking of the world title, AEW champion Jon Moxley will defend against the Exalted One, Mr. Brodie Lee, the former Luke Harper of WWE, the leader of the Dark Order. I have gone with Jon Moxley to retain his championship here. I don't think there's any mystery at all to this in my eyes because they just put the title on Jon Moxley before all the virus chaos happened. I think Jon Moxley's probably going to get a long run. Jon Moxley's very, very hot right now. People love him, and he's finally in the position that many of us wanted to see him in when he was part of WWE. So I don't expect that to change anytime soon. I think when Jon Moxley drops the title, it will probably be to someone who is on his level in terms of crowd support. But Brodie Lee is still Brodie Lee, and he probably went to AEW because he knew he would be around the championship picture. So maybe eventually he will win it, but I don't think it will happen here. My prediction is that the match actually goes down with the ending of a member of the Dark Order costing the Exalted One, Mr. Brodie Lee, the matchup. In the number one contenders buy-in ladder match for the AEW Championship, much like an AEW version of Money in the Bank, where the winner is going to get that shot at AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, or if the unthinkable, in my eyes, anyway, happens, and Brodie Lee becomes the AEW champion, they will face Brodie Lee. We've got Darby Allin versus Colt Cabana versus Orange Cassidy versus Rey Fenix versus Scorpio Sky versus Kip Sabian versus a yet-to-be-announced participant. That yet-to-be-announced participant is thought by many to be a debuting former WWE star who was let go on Black Wednesday. I don't know for sure if that can be the case. I don't know if 90 days have passed, but I believe we are right around there. And or it could be someone that was let go before Black Wednesday so that they don't have that in their back pocket. If I have to make a prediction, which is just as wide open prediction for who this might be, I think the most likely person may be the former Zack Ryder, as him and Cody are very, very tight. And Cody has said numerous times if he could get anybody in AEW to work with, it would be his friend Zack Ryder. Nyla Rose will defend the AEW Women's Championship against Hikaru Shida. I like Nyla Rose to retain. Sorry about that. I was scrolling down there. I like Nyla Rose to retain the AEW Women's Championship here. They just put the title on her. I don't think they're going to take it off of her that soon. And I really think they want to try to establish her to be a dominant champion. Now, on the card, we are scheduled to see, as it is next on the listing here, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Chris Statlander. Now, I say that we're scheduled to see this match because if you saw AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday night, last night at the time of recording this / streaming this live out to the viewing audience, you saw that Britt Baker may have gotten injured as she went out for the rest of that match after being attacked in the turnbuckle with her knee in proximity of the attack. And instead of doing wrestling selling, it really did truly look like she was a bit worried about, she didn't like what she just felt. So I certainly hope that Britt Baker is okay, because she is by far, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, the most interesting thing in AEW's women's division. So I certainly hope she's okay. If the match happens, I've gone with her, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, to be your victor. In the buy-in pre-show match, it will be for the number one contendership to the AEW World Tag Team Championship, as Private Party will take on Best Friends. I've gone with Best Friends here. Chuck Taylor and Trent have just been on an absolute tear, and I think that they are the guys that are going to be the next challengers for Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. They started planting those seeds back before Hangman went away due to concerns over the pandemic. So I think they'll continue that for certain. So I've gone with best friends to get the victory in a number one contendership bout. And speaking of Matt Hardy, or excuse me, not Matt Hardy, although he is in this match, but speaking of Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, the AEW Tag Champions, they will be joining their Elite Brethren in full as Hangman did return last night for the first time since the pandemic did break out. And it will be the Elite along with Matt Hardy versus the Inner Circle of Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, and Santana and Ortiz. I've gone with the Inner Circle to get the victory here because I think they are playing off the fact that they're the more cohesive group. I think they might tease more of dissension with Hangman Adam Page, although I personally hope he doesn't turn because in my opinion, he is the hottest babyface they have in that company, not named Cody. And I think it would be much more poetic if the Elite stands tall at the end of this match and doesn't let the Inner Circle tear them apart. This, of course, is the substitution match for what was supposed to originally be their version of War Games. I forget the name of it. I'm not sure what they're calling it, but it is some type of a street fight type of match title where we're going to see them fight all over the place. But yeah, I've gone with the Inner Circle here, but I would not be surprised at all if it goes to Matt Hardy and the Elite, just simply because it is Matt Hardy and the Elite. And this match is not officially on the card, but it was teased on Dynamite. So I'm going to go ahead and predict it as though it will be added to the show. And that is the matchup of Dustin Rhodes taking on the self-proclaimed chairman of AEW, Shawn Spears. I think that the chairman will get the victory here if this match happens. Shawn Spears needs that big win, and I think he's going to get that big victory on the card if this match does take place. And they've also been teasing, even bringing it up again, the retirement of Dustin Rhodes. This is like the third or fourth time. So I think that maybe that might be sometime very soon for Dustin. But I think when it is official, I think it'll be part of a big storyline. So he may or may not get a big victory at that point. But I just feel like if this match happens, it will go to Shawn Spears. So that's it. That's the card for this Saturday's AEW Double or Nothing live on cable and satellite pay-per-view. BR live in the States and Fight TV overseas. So I will be back on Sunday, because we're having a Saturday pay-per-view. Not used to that, but I will be back on Sunday with my thoughts on the show. We will be doing a joint crossover show once again with In the Hot Seat host David Rivera. Fort Minor Project will be here joining me, and possibly some other familiar faces to myself, and maybe some new faces to this show. So we'll have to keep our eyes and ears on that, if that goes down or not. But until then, of course, I will also be back on Saturday with your regularly scheduled end of the week is what I'm trying to say. End of the week wrap up. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied. I sincerely apologize. The nature of live video sometimes. But your weekly end of the week wrap up, of course, will be taking place on Saturday And I will have Jamie Lips Taker back with me after a week off last week because of inability to record when we did record. So she will be back with us on Saturday. So you can look forward to her thoughts on everything that's gone down here as of late. As always, you can be in touch with the show on social media everywhere besides Instagram. We don't have an Instagram page yet, although I'm probably going to have one up in the next couple of days, but it's just at In Ring Reality on Facebook and Twitter, and also at gmail.com if you'd like to email the show directly. So do be in touch with the program. Like I said, whether you're watching or listening, I do appreciate all of you being here for absolute certainty. And as I always like to say, life is only as good as what you choose to make it to be. So make the choice to go out and do something great today.